Last Sunday, the 27th March, the St. Kitts and Nevis cross-channel swim returned after a 2-year hiatus. A total of 139 swimmers participated in this arduous swim. Among them were 7 children whose ages range from 10 years old to early teens. These children were trained by James Weeks, and many were impressed as all 7 of them completed the swim from Oualie Beach Nevis to Cockle Shell in St. Kitts. Today, we warmly welcome swim coach James Weeks to Good Morning SKN to hear more about this. Good morning, Mr. Weeks, and welcome.
Morning, sir.
Okay, so I'm going to go right into the question since I'm uber excited about this. During the race, you were in a kayak alongside your trainees. Now, how did you manage to motivate them whilst doing this, or whilst being in the kayak?
The motivation actually was weeks before.
Okay.
Or should I say months before? Because if I'm only able to motivate them on the day, it's too late.
Okay.
So in weeks leading up to this thing, this event, I would have been able to know who I can choose to do this swim, because 7 of them, that's not the entire group.
Okay.
You know, that was only the 7 that was chosen. The 7 that I thought was strong enough, fit enough, and motivated enough to do the swim.
So I'm curious.
So I would have.
No, sorry. Go ahead, sir. No, please continue.
Yeah, so I would have. I would have known from their training that these 7 is ready. So the motivation would have been there prior to that. So I tried different things to see if I can shake their enthusiasm, right? But after I realized, okay, they are fully, decided and looking forward to it, and nothing I said, to try to shake their stability was working, then I know, okay, these kids are ready. So I would give them some vigorous training. I would try to get into their heads to see, if something like this come up, what they would do, and so on. So I got them to the point where there was nothing that could deter them from doing this way.
All right, so I have to ask, concerning the training, we were talking obviously about a swim from Oualie Beach to Cockle Shell Bay, and I want to know, in training these 7 youngsters, in addition to the others, how were you able to do that? Did you actually take them from Oualie Beach to Cockle Shell before, or did you simulate that?
Well, what I did leading up to that is when we never did the actual swim from Nevis to St. Kitts, right? But what I did was I would do close to the distance, but I would take them into waters that would kind of simulate the similar effect. Okay. And give them I would give them drills to do that would even work them harder than that swim. Because if you train harder than the event, then you can easily make adjustments to suit the event that's coming up, and not on the train. And then when the event comes, you find out, okay, this is even harder than my training. So I do the opposite. Work hard now and take it easy later on. That's why you're able to see them running out of the water like they didn't even do very much, still feeling nice and calm.
And ready to go again. Back to Nevis.
Ready to go again.
So I was asking you prior to our interview, how did you learn to swim? And when did you get into competitive swimming?
Well, I used to do what we call your normal, jump in the water and swim kind of thing. Being with the older guys, being on the pier, like in the castle and different places, they'll push you off, right? And you can't swim, but you just know how to kind of keep your head above water. They'll push you over and you cry your way into shore. Somehow you get into shore, and being young and you go back on the pier again, and the same thing is going to happen all the time. But in so doing, it creates it creates this thing where you gotta survive, even though it hurts and you're crying all the time. You keep going back for more, so it makes you stronger each time. And so with that background, I end up starting to do a lot of like, we go spearfishing and different kind of things like that. So it kind of helped from that standpoint. But then I took up cycling. And after taking up cycling, then for the president, then would indicate that, okay, we're going to start doing triathlon because being held in St. Kitts. But I only know how to swim that style where you just get from A to B. However you get from A to B, that's how you used to go to swim. Mm-hmm. But in doing that, I recognized early that I had a weakness in swimming because I would bike very well and I was a super runner, but my weak point was the swim. So I would come out the water almost last, get on my bike, catch back up, I'll reach back up to like the first 10, and then on the run, I'll catch everybody because I had this thing, if I can see you, I can catch you. Mm-hmm. So I would win, but I would win being very exhausted because I had to work harder on the bike and harder to run. So then I was encouraged to start to, learn swimming, where one of my teammates, not living here, from overseas, he said, look, you could be a very good triathlete, but you need to learn how to swim. So he started showing me some pointers and so on. Every day he would take me and show me how to do these particular moves and strokes and so on. And then I started building on that. And my swimming started to get better. And after I realized, okay, the swim is getting better, so the race came easier. Winning a race became easier. I feel better doing races because I don't have to work so hard in the swim. And because back then the swim was like I'm swimming just to survive it. Okay. But then after a while, it was not a survival swim. It was a race swim. So everything started to work together. And so then I was also encouraged by the president to do some courses. So I did some courses in training, coaching courses, which I took very seriously. And as time went along, I decided, okay, the races started to get more and more, if I may say, intense. And so we started traveling to neighboring islands and countries to participate. And that, in doing that, I became like very good at it. So I would go like to Grenada, Antigua, St. Martin, Trinidad, Tobago, all these islands around about. And every time I go, I always on the podium. Mm-hmm. So then, as time goes along, it came to a point where, okay, I became a very good triathlete. And at some point, I backed away, decided, okay, I'm going to start to give back to the community. So I kind of retired, only make my appearance certain times, certain events. And I focus a lot on teaching and coaching little kids or whoever. Doesn't matter the age group from 5 to 99. So I started doing that for the joy of it, watching these kids and everybody else who come, progress from strength to strength. And then I became more, focused on trying to give to these kids a lot of what I may not have been exposed to. I actually got to the level of World Championship. I went to World Championship triathlon and all that. So, I went on the big stage. And so when I came down from the big stage, I decided I'm going to see how much people I can get at the big stage, because it's kind of lonely at the top. So then I started focusing on these kids. So I've been doing this for many years. I did the cross-country swim a couple of times. The first time I did it in a time of about 1:45. Okay. And seeing that result on Sunday, where the first one did it in 1:35 or something like that, it impressed me because my first time was 1:45. And that was like my survival swim, doing it because I was encouraged to do it, right? So I fought my way over, but these kids are not fighting their way over. These kids are swimming and enjoying it because I've been like with them all the way, and I'm talking with them, having conversation with them. They would stop swimming, they would talk to me because I got to check to see if everything is going good, how they're feeling, if I can offer them any little tips or anything. But these kids, all they're doing is sometimes they're swimming and they see me next to them, they just give me the thumbs up. And I just move on to find the other one, and they give me the thumbs up. They look at me and give me the thumbs up. So I know these kids were having a grand time.
You said that you selected 7 people to participate, 7 young children. I think their ages are from 10 to preteens or early teens. What can you tell us about them personally? Who are they? What were their times, if you could remember?
Okay, well, let me see. This, I will give you the names and time. This is not in the order, you know, but I have a list here, which is, I had Justin, which did a time of 1:35. I have Rishikesh, which did a time of 1:38. Anwar did a time of 1:46. Baju, 1:50. Skylar, which is the only female, she did 1:51. And Abhijit did 1:55. Jackson did 2:17.
Okay.
Oh, that's great. You must be proud. I was thinking when you said that your time was bettered by your student, it must have been both a moment of pride for you, but also a moment of humility.
No, you see, what made me proud is that, okay, I did that swim based on information that I would have had by myself, which means I had to train myself. So I wasn't at the level that they are at now. I was not at that level. Okay, because I just did that swim because I know how to keep my head above water, and I know how to get from A to B, and that was basically my idea of swimming. Get from A to B alive. But these kids, the preparation, the way I prepared them is not to get from A to B and then lay down flat and panting like dogs and trying to catch their next meal, right? What I did was I prepared them for the task ahead. So they would have been trained to do the swim and not hit their red zone, where they start to think that they are now trying to survive. Okay. They were trained to do the swim in their nice and relaxed zone. So that's why I can pull up next to them in the kayak and we can have a conversation, because they're still in the aerobic zone. I say, look, when you get like 1 kilometer to the finish or anything, or somewhere in that region about, you can go as hard as you can. But when you leave from Nevis, stay in your zone. Don't try to keep up with the others, because there's going to be a lot of splashing and dashing and tumbling over each other at the beginning. Don't get carried away with that. You maintain and stay in your zone. Get out the bay, and then you can start to make shift, but then you will be in your nice little sweet spot, and you stay in your sweet spot. Don't burn all your matches trying to get out with everybody else, because you're going to pay for it halfway.
I'm just marveled by the fact that you were able to have a conversation. I could barely have a conversation when I'm standing. Never mind swimming across the channel. One of them had a problem with the goggles. Say goggles is leaking. So I stopped and we had a conversation. I said, okay, this is what happened to the goggles. Actually, the goggles was halfway on the cap. The cap was under the goggles, so it was leaking there. Okay. So I had to fix that. They helped me fix that and so on, and then change his goggles so that he would feel like, okay, it's he feel more confident to use the different goggles than to just fix the problem that was there. And then that was it. I had a conversation. Everything good. You feel good now? Okay.
Good to go.
Give me the thumbs up and took off again.
Okay. So, Mr. Weeks, how long have you been a swim coach? And if, say, myself and Jamie and other persons wanted to contact you, how can we get in contact with you?
Okay, I have been a swim coach since about 2000, so that's a long time.
22 years.
I don't think you look any worse for the wear.
Yeah, somewhere around the early 2000s or somewhere around there. Yeah, so when now I'm thinking about it, that's a long time. So it's about time I pull something out the bag. Okay, yeah, so, well, My contact information is, my phone number actually is 765-9651.
Okay.
That's 765-9651. I almost think I forgot my number. See, I don't use it. Everybody else uses it. I don't use it.
Well, I figure if you want to get in contact with people, you can swim around the two islands anyway, so you'll be fine.
Yeah, just tell me where you're at. Tell me where you're at. Be on the coastline somewhere. I'll get to you.
All right, so I have to ask now, the children are obviously young, but they are off to a great start in terms of their swimming ability. Since you are yourself winner of the 2019 Nevis Triathlon, is there any plan to have them participate in that? Have they discussed that with you? Have their parents talked about that with you?
Well, if and when there is another triathlon, because actually we've been having conversation about that constantly, you know, they would do not just like a full triathlon, but we have something that we call a tri, which is a much shorter course, so that it kind of like introduce you to the pain, if I may say so, you know, because it is painful. Because you can be an excellent swimmer. So you can go and you swim the course and, you know, you come out the water ahead of everybody else, but then you start hurting you on the bike because you're not that good of a biker. Or you may be a good biker, a good swimmer, but you're terrible at running. So somewhere you're going to find that pain. But it's nice when you are well-rounded. That comes again with a lot of training, a lot of focused training. Make your strong point stronger and make your weak point stronger. So you want to be balanced. Okay. Once you balance, you're okay. But you will have you will have at least one or maybe two areas where you are really good at. So even though you are a very good runner and you are not a good swimmer, what happens is that you're going to be forced to work hard on the swim. And if you allow your mind to push you into that direction, you will suffer in the area that you are good at because you push too hard in the area that you are not good at. So you compromise your strong point. So yoga is a lot of, it's a lot of training to kind of balance that out. Because when things get going, when the whistle blow, I mean, you just want to go, but you got to realize that, okay, this is where I'm not so strong. So let me back off so that when I get to the point where I'm strong, I can hit it 200% and make up from where I lost.